Considering the move to Olympia, Washington area, I have a secret for you. You need to check out Lacey, Washington. Lacey is a bedroom community suburb right next door, 10, 15 minutes to downtown Olympia, but very different quality of life. Lacey is like this little hidden secret that I need to show you. So in this video, I'm going to share my own personal experience about moving here. I looked at 22 houses in 3 days, and I landed in Lacey, Washington, and I'm going to show you why I landed in Lacey, Washington, and you might want to land there as well. First topic we're going to talk about is affordability. You're going to be surprised at how far your dollar takes you in the city of Lacey versus the city of Olympia. A lot of people like to live right around, downtown Olympia or the city of Olympia city limits. And they're going to find that it's expensive to live there. It is the most expensive area in Thurston County to live, not only in home prices, but property taxes. You're also getting less house for your money, smaller yards, et cetera. It's an older part of the state, right? It's been settled a lot longer than some of the suburbs. And so a lot of times clients will start in Olympia because they look up the schools. Schools are good rating, right? And obviously you got the Capitol. There's a lot of amenities. Bud Bay is here, right? You got the ocean, the sound, the South Sound comes all the way down. If you're looking at a state of Washington map, the sound ends at downtown Olympia, like right up the street from my office. So we've got, the bay, we've got wildlife, we've got the views of the mountain. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place to live. So what happens is we just start looking kind of organically at suburbs. And my favorite suburb is the one I live in, and that's Lacey, Washington. And another popular suburb, which is probably good for another video, is Tumwater. So Olympia, Lacey, and Tumwater are kind of the big trifecta, we call them. And then as you go out further in the county, you get even more for your money. So if you're willing to, commute 30 minutes to your job in downtown Olympia, as an example, you get even more money. The same house in Olympia can cost you 100 to 150 grand more. The same exact house, honestly. Same, apples and apples. They're really comparables. So you're paying for kind of that Olympia address. In Lacey, that is not the case. We've got some builders building brand new houses that are in the upper fours and the low to mid fives. So a lot more affordable, property taxes, much more affordable HOA dues. You just discover pretty quickly that, once you talk to a family, you talk to a buyer or a buyer couple, and you find out what their budget is and you find out what they really want, I can deliver that more easily in the city of Lacey than I can in the city of Olympia. Lacey's quieter than Olympia or Pierce County. It's quieter than most communities around us. Again, just kind of how it's laid out and been developed. There's lots of neighborhoods. You'll find a lot of people walking, their dogs, a lot of people running, bicycling. We have this beautiful trail. It's called the Chehalis Western Trail. And Chehalis is a local native tribe. And so it was kind of named in honor of them. And then Western was an old railroad, is my understanding. So they paved this little, I think it's 15 miles of former railroad they've paved. You'll just find people on this trail 7 days a week, dawn to dusk. They're on this trail, running, walking, biking, rollerblading, roller skating. It's phenomenal. And just a slower pace of life, just the way people drive, just the amount of traffic. Traffic's a big topic in our part of the country. In the Pacific Northwest in general, and I'll tell you why. It is because I-5, which I mentioned earlier, is our main artery. There aren't really any other arteries. There's no bypasses, there's no other freeways, right? So if something happens on I-5, my favorite saying is if a chicken truck tips over and there's chickens running across the road, they're closing the freeway. They're closing it until they get it figured out, right? So avoiding I-5 when you can in your daily life will help you be less stressful. And all of your travel times are predictable. If I'm driving from here in Lacey to Tacoma, it could take me, 30 to 40 minutes. It could take me an hour and a half because of a chicken truck or whatever is on I-5, right? There's a lot of side roads. There's a lot of county highways that are really easy to travel on. And so just the pace of life is just a lot more manageable. It feels like home. It feels like home instead of living in a big city with sirens and buses and all the noises of a big city. But most people want a quiet, calmer, situation for themselves, their family, their kids. Their kids want to go out and play, right? And these neighborhoods all have tot lots and they've got, rec centers. The other thing about Lacey I love is our park system. We've got phenomenal parks with huge tot lots and huge playgrounds for the kids, right? So picnic areas, right? Places you can rent or just use, inexpensively. And you've got the rec center, which has got ball fields and a big playground area and lots of picnic areas, and it's got a running track. There's just a lot to do, and it's just a very comfortable place to live 7 days a week. Any buyer, any interested parent can hop online and find all kinds of school ratings. Those are independent third-party school rating systems. Every parent, I think, should do that. We've got phenomenal schools in Western Washington, and several are right around us here. And there's a lot of private schools too, by the way. If you don't want to go the public school route, there's a lot of church schools, Christian schools, there's Montessori schools, right? There's individual private schools that are unbelievably stellar. They really are. And my kids have been in some of those as well. But for the North Thurston School District, our kids went through, Horizons Elementary, and then Camacha Middle, and then Timberline High. And those are three of the North Thurston schools, but they're depending where you live, because it's a big community, you might be different middle or high or elementary schools. Our experience, has been tremendous with all three levels. I don't know how it was when you were in kindergarten, but when I was in kindergarten, it was all about, socialization, being away from home. You get your little carpet square, your chocolate milk, and you try to be a good person. I mean, that was it. Not here. Okay. They were like, no, we're going to prepare your kids for the future. We're going to prepare your kids for first grade. They're going to count to 300. They're going to write their own name, and it's all very organized. It's not chaos like it used to be, right? There's program monitors, there's school resource officers, right? So we've got police officers that, rarely are they stationed at a school all time. Usually they rotate around, and they're just kind of around, and so the kids are interacting with them. So that gives me peace of mind again as a parent. Easy lunch program, easy way to add lunch money, click, right? So super easy, high on technology, high on preparing your kids for the future. So, and then the sports and the music at all three levels have been it's just incredible. I'll be honest with you. My kids have been in both sports and in music, and those both matter when you're trying to raise a little human. Okay. Music makes you smarter. I used to be in the music business, and so music utilizes the same part of the brain that math and science uses. So having those programs in place really mattered to us. A well-rounded individual, a lot of extracurricular activities, lots of clubs for the kids to go to before and after school. About 30% of my business is either active duty or veteran. So it's a big part of our world down here. And so we're super aware of it. Sellers in other markets sometimes, will poo-poo a VA offer, right? Because it might be a little bit more stringent in the appraisal process. Out here, there's a lot of VA love. Very frequently, the sellers are VA and they're selling to a VA buyer, right? So it's a very, very different environment for a VA buyer here than it is in some other communities. There's just a lot of love, a lot of appreciation for our military. You drive through neighborhoods, you see all the American flags. Pretty much every military member I know has got a big old American flag on the front of their house. So you can drive through the neighborhoods, like, yep, and they're everywhere, right? So we love them. It's a big part of our world here, and obviously we feel very safe living here with this gigantic base. When I meet with buyers, I actually have these maps that I have to buy online. Puget Sound map, right? These old school maps. You'd be surprised how much people love to we just lay this out on my desk, and I say, okay, we're here. Here's base. Here are the communities. Here's where you should go drive around, and I send them on their way with the map, and they love it, even though it's all on their car now. It's all on their phone. So we do the old paper thing, but it gives them a perspective of the South Sound area, right, and all the possibilities. If you're a military family relocating here, Olympia, Lacey, Tumwater is going to be on your radar. Just give Lacey a look. Give it a look. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. If you go to my website, which is my name, GarrettLafferty.com, there's all kinds of resources on my website. Some neighborhood guides are on there. Obviously, there's all kinds of searching you can do for houses. So my website's a great place to start. You can message me from there. You can email me. I'll shoot you the home buyer questionnaire. We'll do a free 1-hour buyer consult. I'll answer all your questions. I have found that clients that have more information are a lot more comfortable through the whole process than clients that don't. So I'm just going to give you all the info I can, and this will be fun. House shopping is a blast. I love showing houses and touring them. I love finding my buyers the right house. I love it when they squeal because we got our offer accepted, and then handing them the keys on closing day. That's my why. My why is taking care of people and getting them into the right house for their situation and them being super happy about it.